because companies like PWC show other companies how to operate in this country and pay no tax. So I went at them hammer and tongs, and I said nasty things about them on LinkedIn. I said nasty things about the CEO. I'm not sorry about that. He earns $4 million a year. He earns $4 million a year to run a criminal enterprise. You don't like me saying nasty things about you? Don't run a criminal enterprise. And if you want to run a criminal enterprise and you paid $4 million a year, here's my advice. Go and put your big boy pants on. Stop whining. Go and put your big boy pants on. One of the things I said about him was, and you might like to, if you can pull this up, his name's Kevin Burrowes. I repeated a moniker in which he was called Resting Bulldog Face. And if you Google Kevin Burrowes Resting Bulldog Face, you'll find some pictures where he looks like a British bulldog. Yeah, that would be it. Yeah, that one, the one in the top left. Now, you know, Kevo, I've got a big nose, right? Tell me I've got a big nose, I don't fall to pieces. I don't crawl up in a corner and die. I don't start crying. It means nothing to me. Water off a duck's back, mate. Grow up. And I didn't call him Resting Bulldog Face to begin with. The first person to call him Resting Bulldog Face was a journalist by the name of Neil Chenoweth. Oh, that's it, that's it. If you can scroll down, Adam, if you've got access to that article, oh, damn, I've got access to that article. Anyway, in that article, Neil Chenoweth says about Kevin Burrowes, he says he's got a severe case of resting bulldog face. So I put this on my LinkedIn post. I called Kevin Burrowes and I put it in two little horizontal lines. The two little horizontal lines are known in the English-speaking world as inverted commas. Those inverted commas means I'm quoting. So I put in inverted commas, resting bulldog face, and then in brackets behind that, I cited my source, Neil Chenoweth, Australian Financial Review. So Burrowes knew I hadn't said this. I was simply repeating what somebody else had said. So he gets hold of his lawyers at Allen's. First irony, right? He doesn't get hold of his lawyers at PWC Legal because that's not a real law firm. It's a play, pretend bullshit law firm, right? He goes to a real law firm. He goes to Allen's. And he obviously says to Allen's, wah, saying nasty things about me, wah. Can we sue him for defamation? I'm a law professor. I have a rough idea of what you can and cannot sue me for. I know how far I can push it. I hadn't pushed it far enough for them to sue me for defamation. So Allen's probably said to him, no, we can't sue him for defamation. So he says to them, all right, well, what else can we do? So Allen says, we'll try and get him fired. So Allen's, the law firm, on behalf of PWC, wrote to Wollongong University and complained about my LinkedIn posts and complained that I'd breached the university's rules and complained that I'd breached the university's social media rules and demanded all sorts of action be taken against me, and the implication of which, of course, is you should fire him. So the university, you know, I'm not blaming Wollongong Uni. Universities are very risk averse. And having got a letter from Allen's, the law firm, Wollongong University shat itself. And they got hold of me and they went, we've got to have a meeting about this. We've got to meet about this. We've got to meet about this urgently. So I went, okay, everybody stay calm. Let's have a meeting. So the meeting was by Zoom, right? So I'm meeting with the head of HR and the dean of the law school and this one and that one and the next one. They all want to meet with me to discuss these very, very serious allegations. So the first thing they said to me is, apparently you went online and you called Kevin Burrowes resting bulldog face. And I went, yeah, so? So did Neil Chenoweth at the Australian Financial Review, Have you heard of the Australian Financial Review? It's a small newspaper. You might have heard of it. It's published all over Australia. Here's the article. Screen share. And they went, oh, okay. But apparently you called them a criminal. Apparently you called them criminals. I went, yeah, here's Hansard. Here's 2 members of parliament calling them criminals. You see, I'd done my research, right? I had done my research. I knew exactly what I could say about them because I knew what was on the public record. So they said, you called them criminals. I went, yeah, so did 2 members of parliament. It's on Hansard. It's in the public domain. It's protected by parliamentary privilege. So they went, oh, okay. But apparently you called them a mafia. I went, yeah. Here's a report written in 2011 by Baron Prem Seeker, the Lord Kingswood, one of the most prominent members of the House of Lords, excuse me, entitled The Pinstriped Mafia, How Big Audit is Destroying Society. And they went, oh. And this went on for about 45 minutes. After about 45 minutes, they said to me, okay, we've seen enough. I went, no. I'm not finished. I've got more. Here are some other things I've said about them. And here's the evidence to back it up. Neil Chenoweth said to me that PwC's lawyers called the Fin Review and they complained to the editor of the Fin Review that Chenoweth had called Burrowes resting bulldog face. And according to Neil Chenoweth, the editor of the Fin Review turned around to PwC's lawyers and said to them, read my lips. So when they were told to F off, they came after me. So the university could see they didn't have a leg to stand on. They could see that if they tried to take any steps against me at all, I would go to Fair Work and I would walk up and down their arse. So they went, okay, this matter is closed. I went, no, this matter's not closed. You come after me, it's never closed. I want to see the complaint. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, the complaint was confidential. I wasn't allowed to see the complaint. I had to defend myself against a secret complaint that I wasn't allowed to see. That is a complete denial of natural justice. So I said to the university, I want to see the complaint. They said, well, it's within PwC's gift to determine whether we can show it to you because they've brought their complaint under confidentiality provisions. So they contacted PwC and they said, can we show Professor Schmulow the complaint? PwC said no. Because by this stage, I was getting it reported in the newspapers. And this is what happens. When you shine a bright light on a cockroach, what does the cockroach do? Does it stand up and fight? No. It scurries into a hole like a cockroach. So I said to them, I want to see the complaint. And they said, well, I'm sorry, PwC says you can't see it. So I said, okay, that's fine. We'll go to court. I'm a law professor after all. So I took the university to the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Affairs Tribunal. They hired a big fancy law firm, officers all over the country that specialize in civil and administrative tribunal matters to defend them. Would have cost the university probably $100,000. And the big fancy law firm looked at my statement of claim and my rights under the GIPA Act, the Government Access to Information Act. And they turned around to the university and they said, you don't want to fight this. You might want to just give him the complaint. And do you know why they wouldn't originally give me the complaint? They wouldn't give me the complaint because PwC said, PwC, we are a vulnerable complainant. They're a $3 billion a year revenue business with 1,000 partners, 6,000 employees, and their own law firm. And they're telling us they're the ones who are vulnerable. No. $3 billion assurance firm versus me, and you're the ones who are vulnerable. And this is what PwC does. They manipulate the legal system. They manipulate the complaints system. They manipulate legal professional privilege. If I get into the Senate, I'm going to beat these bastards till my arm gets sore. And you know why? Because not only are they facilitating tax evasion, these guys have been stealing money from the taxpayer left, right, and center. And it's not only them.